It was only 1-0, but a cup final full of drama. Eberechieza got the opener. Now they'll come forward.
On DAB, on your mobile, on the app, and on the smart TV.
Get in the ring and go the distance with Fight Night.
The fight starts now.
With Adam Catterall and Gareth A. Davies.
I don't think he's going to get up.
On talkSPORT, the home of boxing.
Left hook, which goes right across the whiskers of Johnny Fisher, and it does knock him clean out. Of which, listen, you can see Johnny Fisher's corner. They were about to do the right thing. They were throwing in the towel. The towel comes flying across the ring because of the barrage of shots from Dave Allen. He was taking an awful lot of punishment there, Johnny Fisher, and Dave Allen has got the job done in the rematch.
Body shots as well. It's a really clinical finish by Dave Allen when he had him hurt. Just showed all his experience as a heavyweight. Johnny Fisher came out with exactly the tactics you and I had talked about that we predicted, which was to use the big ring, circle, use the jab, clinch. But Allen is very clever in the clinch, and that's where his work was in that first fight. Obviously ref by Bob Williams. It was Marcus McDonnell in this one. Johnny Fisher was, as I say, I agree with you, was 4 rounds up going into the 5th. Warned for low blows, warned twice during the first 4 rounds. Dave Allen was showing a great deal of concern about Johnny Fisher as well, by the way.
He knocked him out cold. He was classic.
He landed on his face. He was, like you say, out cold.
Yep.
They administered air. The two men have spoken in the ring. And Marcus McDonnell is about to raise the hand of Dave Allen in the ring. And we have to ask the questions of where Johnny Fisher goes from here.
Listen, he's a young man, right? This is... People are going to they're going to jump all over him because obviously he's gone through 2 contests with Dave Allen. And for the majority of us that watched the first contest, he didn't win it, but he got a decision. And we find ourselves here in this rematch. And the rematch now is conclusive. We all know exactly who's won that fight because Dave Allen's got his hand raised after the fight not to go in the full distance. People are going to jump all over Johnny Fisher. And I just want to say, listen, at the end of the day, the lad's attempting to do something that the majority of people find incredibly difficult to do. I've always said, if Johnny Fisher gets to the point of becoming the British champion, he will have exceeded my expectations. Because, listen, we're talking about a young man that took up this sport in university. He's gone away, he's grafted, he works hard. Nobody can question the work ethic of Johnny Fisher. Absolutely not. You know what his skill set is, and you know what his skill set isn't. And tonight he got found out a little bit by a guy maybe with a bit of a superior skill set. For 4 rounds, Dave Allen soaked up the pressure. He kept walking forward. He kept making Johnny work at a particular pace that maybe he was uncomfortable at working. And when the time came, he landed his shots. And when he landed his shots, I mean, the killer instinct of the way that he went through the finish there, Dave Allen, was absolutely sensational.
Adam,
your question was, where does Johnny Fisher go from now? Listen, he goes back to the drawing board.
Or do they do a trilogy?
No. No. If you are now looking after Johnny Fisher, you
don't put him back in with Dave Allen,
to be fair, listen, I'm a boxing fan, so I'm going to speak to this as a boxing fan. The rematch was the right fight to make because there was controversy, there was lots of debate off the back of the result of the first fight. It was the right fight to make. But if you are the manager of Johnny Fisher, it was the wrong fight to make because anybody with eyes watching that first fight, you saw a few fundamental errors that are not quite there yet. He showed a lot of the things that you can't teach. Massive set of cojones, stayed in the fight, took an awful lot of punishment. But there was an opportunity there. You've got away with one. You've got the victory. Walk away and maybe take him somewhere else before you bring him back to the Dave Allen thing. Let the chat build. Take him away. But from a fight fan's point of view, it was the right fight to make. Now we find ourselves in the process of having the fight this evening. We've now found out it's conclusive this evening. There's no need for part 3. Let's not be daft about this. This is still a young man who's got a lot of years ahead of him. Let him go away. Let him go and rebuild that confidence because that's going to take a lot of confidence away from him tonight that he was good for 4 and he got found out again in the 5th. Let him go away. Let him go and work on the things that he wants to go and work on. Let him go and build his confidence back up and let's not expect too much from him. There's too much of this in this game, right? Where promoters jump all over a particular lad because he sells a few tickets. And we get all excited about him and we start talking about him in particular languages which are a little bit unfair and you put pressure on the kid. At the end of the day, I never thought that Johnny Fisher is going to be of the level of the Alexander Usyks of this world, right? But I thought that if he could get to British title level, he'll have done well. Do I still think he can do it? Yeah, I do. Because I think he's got the mindset to be able to do it and the work ethic to go and do it. So let's give him...
Has he got the chin to do it?
Well, time's going to tell, man. This is heavyweight boxing. These are big lads. If you get whacked, anybody can go over. He got whacked tonight, and he got found out, didn't he, off Dave Allen. Dave Allen's no mug.
No, I was about to say that's his 19th knockout in 24 victories as well.
But look at the level that Dave Allen's been in with.
Yeah,
You're right,
yeah.
Dave Allen's not going to be mixing it with Usyk and all that. I know he's sparred with him, but we're not. Nobody's going to be saying Dave Allen's going to go and beat Alexander Usyk. Dave Allen's been in with some very, very good fighters who were much better at this stage that where Johnny Fisher's at. So let him go away, reconvene, rework, change a few things, get back on it, build his confidence back up, and who knows? In 2 years from now, you might be talking about Johnny Fisher challenging for the British title again.
Yeah, we might be, but
from Dave Allen's point of view, mate, he's just punched his ticket to something big.
I think a British title fight with like a David Adelaide or someone like that will be tremendous fight. I mean, looking down, let's give him his credit here. Obviously, he wasn't good against Fraser Clock. It was one of his poor performances. But David Price, the great night against Lucas Brown, of course, that he won by left to the body that night. Lucas Brown, who obviously was a world champion.
I watched him in with Lewis Ortiz a few years ago.
Yeah, Lewis
and he
Ortiz.
got leathered. He got leathered.
He did.
But that's the level that he's been in with. That's what he's seen.
Tony Yoka, the Olympic champion.
He's seen the elite guys.
Yeah. That's a while ago. Dillian White.
He's seen proper lads.
He has, and he's held his own. I think, like I said, I meant a trilogy fight. In my mind was a trilogy fight. I had Dave Allen winning the first fight, as you know. It's been well documented. The talkSPORT came in for a lot of flack from the Fishers. Let's just go over that a little bit for a moment as well. We had Dave Allen winning. We commented on it. It's caused a lot of consternation. It caused part of the controversy as well. My feeling was if Dave Allen did get the win tonight, there could be a trilogy. But I agree with you. The manner of his victory was so conclusive. It's not going to be a happy sight, that being repeated. I mean, I felt it there when Johnny went down. The body shots and then that talking left hook that really torqued his chin across his face. And like you say, he was out cold before he hit the canvas and he face planted. He was down. You were saying it yourself, as we were about to come on air. There's concern about him in the ring at the moment. There was, and thankfully he's up and he's well. And I'm sure he'll get checked out medically.
Can I just say something on that? For all the times that I criticised the British Boxing Board of Control regarding judging and refereeing, one thing that they are absolutely premier at is their health and safety and the medical aspect of taking care of fighters in the immediate aftermath of knockouts. They're absolutely the creme de la creme. So credit to everybody that was there, that was in that ring and helped Johnny back to his feet. I see that Eddie Hearn's being interviewed in the ring. He's doing the old Don King thing. He's stepping towards the winner. He's being interviewed with Dave Allen at the moment. I'm sure he's got his plan for Dave Allen. I'm not sure what kind of deal he's on with Eddie Hearn, but like you say, he's put himself there with optically with that victory. He's for me, he's set the wrongs right from the first fight. He's got the right decision. He's got the win this time. A British title shot is not a step backwards. They could put him on the 5v5 against Frank Warren's David Adelaide, couldn't they? Yeah. That's a great fight. Yeah. David Adelaide's a big puncher, but he's shown vulnerabilities as well against Fabio Wardley. Well, listen, we're in this time now where we're banging on about meritocracy, aren't we? And if people are earning their rights and earning their shots and earning their moves, then listen, it might be a step too far. David Adelaide might be too much for him. He might be. But he's earned the right to have a go at it. And I like you said, tonight his game plan was absolutely back. It was the exact same game plan as the first fight, to be fair. It's just that this time he was a little bit more conclusive with what he did. He absolutely went through the gears. When he got Johnny Fisher hurt, he went through the gears and it was an elite finish. A really, really good finish. And he deserves a shot at something really prominent now. You open the doors up. You don't go backwards from here. You open the doors up to some serious paydays. He is. Remember Roy Nelson in the UFC, the heavyweight? Dave Allen's our Roy Nelson
You know,
Are you talking aesthetically? What are you talking about?
Yeah, with the belly looks like a lorry driver, but he can really fight. In fact, I thought he looked a little overweight going into this.
He did.
When he stripped off to his smalls at the weigh-in.
Listen, I've said this many times. Muscles don't win fights. Ring IQ and knowing how to fight.
He really showed ring IQ there tonight.
Absolutely.
And like I said, towards the end as well, when he knocked Fisher down the first time, he didn't go recklessly either. He went at Fisher, he targeted the body, he dropped his hands. He went to the body in order to make Fisher drop his hands, and then he let his left hook go. And he's got power in both hands. And the weird thing about Dave Allen, because he is built like a small rhino, I mean, obviously he's called the Rhino, he's a lot bigger than you think he is, because he never seems that tall. But I noticed this week, what's Johnny Fisher, 6'4", 6'5"? Dave didn't look that much smaller than him, you know, even in height. But there we go.
Listen, we are live on the talkSPORT Boxing YouTube channel. You can come and join us there. The comment section's up and you can get stuck in. If you've watched that fight and you've come to us for a little bit of an immediate reaction, listen, get stuck in. That was devastating from Dave Allen. What do you want to see him do next? I mean, we're talking British title shots here, getting in the likes with Adelaide and all those types of characters. What do you want to see next for him? And what is the road back for Johnny Fisher? And it's not the end of the road. Listen, there's bumps along this way. It's real life. It's real sport. It's no fairy tales here. You've got to dust yourself off and find the path back. And I'm sure Johnny Fisher and his team will be able to do that. 03717 223344. That's the telephone number to come and get stuck in. We've got lots to talk about tonight. We've got guests galore coming your way. And we're also going to be talking about a fight that has just been confirmed a little earlier on today, where Jack Catterall is in the ring and he's got himself a Eubank. We'll talk about it next.
Boxing Update on talkSPORT with DAZN, the global home of boxing. Buy now at DAZN.com/boxing.
To slap up Sunday lunch of live Premier League football, yes, on talkSPORT. It's the fully heated matchup of Everton go head-to-head with Southampton. Pre-match prep begins at 11, yes, with crispy full-match commentary served up at 12 noon.
It's put on a plate.
It's a sizzling Sunday of live Premier League football. Delectable only on talkSPORT, yes. Done.
Tune.
What's going on with the tunes tonight, man?
No, I'm loving it. Ooh.
Is this a bit of you?
Yeah. Well, we've just had so much drama. We're still talking about Dave Allen knocking out Johnny Fisher. It's going to be all over the news, isn't it? Because it wasn't a big fight in Riyadh, but it became a big fight. The controversy after it.
Yeah.
8,000 at the Copper Box tonight. It was all over the news this week. And heavyweight boxing takes sporting headlines by storm. It was massive, and that was a highlight reel. That was a career best knockout for Dave Allen there of anyone he's ever fought.
Yeah, it was a blockbuster. It's going to be interesting to see what happens next. All the fallout, no doubt, on talkSPORT throughout the whole course of the week. We'll give you a little bit more as this show progresses, so make sure you stick with us. Right now, though, let's get stuck into a fight that was announced a little earlier on. Listen, we've tried to get hold of Jack Catterall, but he must have gone knee-deep into camp straight away. That's what he must have done, because he's got a heck of a fight on his hands. You will have seen that on the 5th of July, Manchester is the destination. Jack Catterall is going to be back in action following his last fight out against Arnold Barboza, where he came up short. And he will be taking on Harlem Eubank. Both of these guys are going to be competing. I mean, it says on my little sheet here, like welterweight, but it's not. It's welterweight. I think it's full welterweight that they're going to be fighting at. 147 pounds, both boys up in weight. And the 147 division, especially on that domestic scene, because we're going to be speaking to Akko Osman very shortly, who's taking on Josh Taylor. You've got Conor Benn, who could, I think, get back down to 147 and be part of this conversation as well. It's starting to get a little bit interesting. But what do you make, first and foremost, of Jack Catterall, Harlem Eubank going at it at welterweight?
Well, obviously, Jack Catterall suffered a very close loss to Arnold Barboza, who in turn went to the Big Ring magazine event at Times Square and lost to Tio Lopez.
Yeah. Convincing. Let's be honest.
Who was brilliant.
Tio beat him quite comfortably.
He didn't listen to his corner all night, Tio, but was like a jack in the box. Beautiful performance. just below the level of the fight he fought against Josh Taylor. I was there live, and he was just interplanetary in his movement, and he's interplanetary in his mindset at times as well. He is a spaceman, let's be honest about it, and we love T.O. for that reason. What I wonder about this, Adam, is going back to Jack Catterall losing to Arnold Barboza, was he struggling and was he tight at the weight? And the extra £7, what is he, 32, 33 now? The extra pounds making life a lot easier for him. Harlem Eubank has got better and better and better. Looked fantastic against Tyrone McKenna in Brighton in his last performance. He impresses me more than more. Obviously, Chris Eubank Sr. comes into play here as well, who's his guide and his uncle. Obviously, Harlem has lost his father in recent times as well, so it's wonderful to see Eubank Sr. there in the corner and managing him as well and guiding him. I like the fight. I think it'll be fun. I think it's a fun fight. Hard fight.
Seven on that, as I've just highlighted there. Is
in there as well.
Well, this is the interesting.
They've talked about it.
Interesting thing for me, because where my and Conor Benton in the come to me and present to me versus becomes more of a legit, because both of these guys are very close to weight and a bit. I actually think they're quite close together. Very, very talented.
It's very much a boxer, because it's very much a boxer in my view. And Conor is, I think it's a terrific, realistic matchup. Because Conor will.
But with all due respect, as he ends, probably the bank names. This might be a little bit of posing. Profiled guy when we're talking about fans. So people are obviously with everything. Taylor is, of course, and then knows who Conor Benton is. So some of that rung, trying to get him in the mix of those fights. Jack Catterall, and then he gets himself into that. And he's chasing Conor because probably
he is the golden
in Garcia.
Yeah, nobody. We saw Conor Benton resonate a couple of weeks back, and everyone him. It's like he was a conquering hero there, even though he. I think there's also, to go back to why Jack Catterall is at 140.
I wish I were at 140.
Which we call welterweight. When was exactly, yeah, maybe. Yeah. Josh, they both win.
Yes.
Next couple of months. Between them as well, we've had two.
I think that makes the most sense.
Maybe it does.
I think if Josh is successful next week, and don't get me wrong, I think he's got a tough task on his hands.
Very physical at Esserman.
Echo Esserman's no joke. So,
well, we'll talk to him tonight, won't we?
Yeah.
And weirdly, what might be interesting about that fight is I think they were on the British team together at one point, or they've sparred with each other quite a lot.
Right.
My understanding is so. they know each other. So for Josh Taylor to, I'll mention it a couple of times tonight, to find Hank again, his alter ego that comes out in fight week that makes him hate his opponent, which he needs. He needs that fire in his belly. It might be difficult because I think they both respect each other a lot.
Yeah, listen, they're both talented lads, and I think it's a good fight next week. I really do. So the winner of that, again, I mean, Echo Usman's another name there that you could bring into this conversation. A proper 147 who's going to be... He'll have his eyes on some of these names that we're referring to too. So regarding the Jack Catterall Harlem Eubank fight, I actually think from a name value, something coming off the back of the world title eliminator loss for Jack Catterall, I think it's great. And from Harlem Eubank point of view, listen, stepping up in weight and you get the name value for a guy that many people think should have been world champion at one point in his career. Listen, I think it's a win-win for Harlem Eubank because he can go up. Whatever, if he's not successful, he could always then say, I'm actually at 140, so I'm going back down. But if he's successful, he's in the mix with some big names.
Harlem Eubank is one of those guys who's been doing his work in the wings and
low key,
and
just
in
bubbling
a
away.
low key way, he's a man. He's not a boy. He's a man, and he's done all his work. He's got his man strength. And he's a very, very secure person. Every time I've been around him or talked to him, he's very balanced. He's got that Eubank thing they've all got. He's got a presence.
Yeah, but he's done it the hard way. Nobody's given him a leg up.
He has done it the hard way.
Yeah.
And like I'm saying, he's been in the wings. And when he's been moved out into the spotlight as the understudy, if you like, he's never fluffed his lines. And that impresses me about him.
No, last time out he was great. And it's going to be interesting to see how he deals with Manchester and Jack Catterall. So it should be a good night of boxing that first week of July. We're going to speak about, or should I say, we're going to speak to Echo Usman next because he's in action next week. He's going up to Glasgow to take on Josh Taylor.
Followed at 8 by kick commentary of Spurs showdown with Manchester United live from Bilbao.
What a turnaround!
The Europa League final, Spurs versus Manchester United.
This Wednesday night from 7.
Live on talkSPORT.
Fight Night with Adam Catterall and Gareth A. Davies.
This is Fight Night on talkSPORT. I'm Adam Catterall. Gareth A. Davies is alongside me, still blown away by what we've just seen at the Copperbox Arena, where Dave Allen stopped Johnny Fisher in the 5th round. 4 rounds to Johnny Fisher, was boxing well at length, got the jab going. But at the end of the 4th, you could just see Dave Allen start to put his foot down a little bit. He was making Johnny Fisher fight at a certain pace that maybe he didn't necessarily want to fight at. And then away he went in the 5th, unleashed a barrage of bombs, which dropped Johnny in the 5th round and then ended up finishing him in quite devastating fashion. A viral moment, no doubt. You'll be seeing that on your social media platforms over the next 24 hours as he had his hand raised. And who knows what comes next for him. Listen, you earn your opportunity when you do something like that, and fingers crossed there'll be good things on the horizon for Dave Allen. From a Johnny Fisher point of view, he's 26 years of age. Boxing can be, especially boxing social media, can be quite a brutal place. Just be kind. At the end of the day, he's out there chasing his dreams, working his tail off. Take it from us here at talkSPORT. He's a nice lad. Despite what any promoter or anybody else tells you, what he could have gone on to achieve. Listen, he's a popular lad. He's a ticket seller, so people are going to hype him up. He's never done that. Not in this studio anyway. He's always been and had a realistic view of his ability level. I think those dreams of maybe becoming British champion are still available to him. It's going to be a hard road back, no doubt about it. And I'm sure with a bit of love, care, dedication, he will get there. So we wish him all the best going forward, and fingers crossed we can get him in the studio in the not too distant future, where he could talk to us about what comes next, but definitely not, in our opinion, the trilogy fight. Let's steer away from that and let's go down a different path. Now, next week, my man, Glasgow is the destination. Josh Taylor steps up to £147, and a man that is licking his chops at welcoming him to welterweight is Echo Usman, who very kindly has given up a bit of time to come and join us 7 days out from the fight. Echo, welcome, my man. How are you? You good?
Hello. Yeah, I'm good, thank you. And thank you for having me.
No, listen, thank you for giving up a bit of time, mate. I know that these weeks now, I know that the work's done, but it's a different type of mental stress, isn't it, getting ready for a fight week and obviously preparing and going up to Glasgow and all those types of things that have been going on. Listen, what you have been British Commonwealth champion in this weight division. I want to know what the hopes, dreams and aspirations are for you now. What's the target? What we're working towards now for you, mate?
Well, I'm not a hold until I'm a world champion, and that's what it's always been. And so that's the goal.
Well, that is a relatively straightforward dream to have. And when you look at the ranking systems, I mean, what are we? Number 4 with the WBO at the moment. I think you're quite well ranked as well with the WBA. The road to that ambition absolutely becomes closer with a win over the former undisputed champion, albeit at the weight division below. But if you beat a former undisputed champion on away soil, the road to that dream that you've just been speaking about becomes an awful lot closer next Saturday night.
Yeah, 100%. And that's why, like, I was given the opportunity to box in Nottingham on the Lee Wood undercard, but when I was given this opportunity, I had to grab it with both hands because it's exactly what I've been asking for. So, like, you ask for it, and when you receive it, you gotta take your chances, don't you?
We haven't seen him at welterweight yet. What are you expecting? What are the strengths that you are expecting Josh to bring to the fight next weekend?
I'm expecting him to have trained very hard. He's got a bit of leeway to not have to make weight as much. So he's going to be rejuvenated. But the proof's going to be in the pudding, really, because it's one thing being allowed to add those extra pounds on and build up that muscle, but it's another thing being able to maintain it and the oxygen debt and everything else. So I'm expecting a hard fight, and that's what I've prepared for. That's what I'm ready for, and you guys are in for a very exciting performance from me.
Well, we're excited about the fight, my man. Listen, before we go any further with the conversation, let's hear from Josh Taylor, because he did join Alan Brazil a little earlier on this week. He had a few words to say about the fight and yourself.
Well, he's a very good fighter, you know, and I've known him for years. I was actually on the Team GB squad with him about 10, 12 years ago, just before the Olympics and stuff. So I've known him for a long time. And then we've both turned professional. He's went his own path. He's won the British, European and Commonwealth Championships at welterweight. So I believe he's got the European WBO European belt as well. So we're hoping that this is going to be on the line as well in a couple of weeks' time. So there'll be a chance for me to pick up another title on this journey of mine. So yeah, I'm very excited for next week. I can't wait.
That was Josh a little earlier on this week on the Alan Brazil show. Echo, obviously you mentioned there that you two know each other well, man. Them sparring days back in the... What do you take anything from that, or are you looking more of what has happened in his pro career, the data that you are taking into the fight?
There's certain things that you can take from sparring back then, kind of like the core attributes of a boxer and whatnot. But obviously, with such a long time in between, there's going to be stuff that's going to be worked on and whatnot. So you can't take too much, but you can take a little bit. And I've always done my homework. I always keep track of what's going on with other boxers and whatnot. So, yeah, I'm well prepped.
Great to have you on, Esso. Always great to speak to you. One of the coolest men around. Cool Karma Collective. That resting heart rate of about 40, I reckon.
No, I tested it the other day. Like when I woke up, I was at 36, 37.
Well, there you go. Even worse. Even calmer than I'm saying. Yeah, ice cool. 37. Yeah. Do you know, people like Randy Couture had that, but very, very low resting heart rate, which enables you to be the ultimate athletes as well, that you recover so quickly. It's incredible. That is about the best you can be. Look, he's never been beaten in Scotland. He won the Commonwealth Gold there, so it's a very happy hunting ground. He's very popular up in Scotland, so it's very much a lion's den fight for you. But some people might say he's lost his last 3 because, you know, the Jack Catterall controversial victory that he had. So he went through this period between 2018. I got to know Josh very well in that period. I mean, knew him before when you guys were all on the team, of course, for the Olympics and so on. But he will have to think about whether his best days are past him or not. Are you in that mindset against him? And he's coming up to your weight division as well.
No, not really, because obviously, like when I took my loss, it was like people kind of wrote me off, and I was like, I was having none of it. It just spurred me on to train harder and change certain things and come back better. So I'm expecting the best Josh Taylor that there will be. So that's what I've been training for.
You will draw him. Will you want to draw him into a war? Because when Hank's alter ego comes in, he likes to get involved in a fight as well. Is that your best option, to draw him into a very physical affair? You're a very physical human being.
Well, if Hank wants to try it on with a tank, then I don't think that will fare in his favor. But I'm prepared for Hank. I'm prepared for Josh. I don't know if he's prepared for the engine, because not a lot of people know what the engine actually is. So, and I'll leave it there.
I like what you said at the start of this, the opportunity. I know that you were given other opportunities and other fights, but this one obviously whetted your appetite, and the magnitude of it is really big for all to see. With all due respect to you, Echo, from a Josh Taylor point of view, he's been in with some big names, he's been in some big fights, some big main events, and fought for world titles and achieved those world titles. Would you say that this is the toughest challenge so far for you in your professional career?
Oh yeah, it's not even all due respect kind of thing. Yeah, on paper, yes, it is. But this is what I've been living for. This is what I've been prepared for back in the amateurs. I was boxing at the highest level against the double Olympians and whatnot. And this is, to everyone else, this is a big, 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 big ask. To me, this is what I do. This is what I thrive for. So I'm excited for it.
I love that. Listen, it will be remiss of me without asking you a little bit more about the division, because it seems that everybody wants to be a welterweight right now. Everybody's trying to get in there. We've just had an announcement of Jack Catterall and Harlem Eubank. That's going to be at welterweight as well. I know that Conor Benn is part of this conversation. I know that he's just been fighting at 160, but it would make sense for him to come back down to 147. It's starting to get really exciting again, isn't it? At 147 pounds, with the likes of yourselves and Josh and Jack and Harlem and all those types of characters. And I know that there's some stateside guys as well that you've probably got your eyes on as well, which bring a few quid to the table. Yeah. This is an exciting division, mate.
Yeah, welterweight's a really exciting division, because people come from the weights below into it. People come from the weights above into it. It's a very busy weight, and it's a weight where if you accomplish something, it means a little bit more because of that as well. So it's one of the best weights to be in.
And on that, right, I've been vocal about it. I don't want to put words in your mouth. I just want your honest opinion. What do you make of Manny Pacquiao coming back into the division and being granted a world title shot immediately, with him being out for 4 years?
Yeah, that one's a bit controversial. You'd think he'd have to build back up as opposed to just getting a straight world title shot. He has his reasons for wanting to come back into boxing, be it money or anything else. But it is what it is. Boxing and politics.
Mate, it sounds like you've been here a million times, Echo, with the business side of this game. Crazy.
What did you? Yeah. Can I ask you as well? Obviously, Conor Benn's in the welterweight division, or purportedly in the welterweight division.
Well, he's in the rankings. He's number 3 with the WBC.
He is 3 with the WBC.
Even though he hasn't fought in the welterweight since April of 22.
And we should point out that Echo is 4 with the WBO with Brian Norman as the champion at the moment. Yeah. What did you make of Ben Eubank last week, and how did you think, or the week before last, what did you think about Conor Benn handling himself at middleweight with Chris Eubank? What did you make of the event? We enjoyed the event itself. And did you picture yourself fighting a middleweight while you were watching that as well?
Yeah, I'd never not fighting at middleweight. At middleweight, I've got power in both hands, so that would make for exciting fights. I think Conor put in a really good account for himself. It was definitely a tear-up. He's in terms of your boxing brawlers, he's definitely more towards the brawling side. but he can do it at a high pace. Obviously over so many rounds, so you can never knock that because that's just different level. Eubank, he was weight trained. I think it might have been a different fight if there wasn't that the rehydration clause. Yeah. But it was such an exciting fight, and you can't take anything away from them regardless of that.
Are you okay with them rematching? Do you think that's fine? Business?
Good business, but I don't think it's fine if there's a rehydration clause on Chris Eubank.
I agree with you, mate.
We shouldn't be agreeing to someone being chronically dehydrated for a second time, in my view, because they're going to go at it again, aren't they?
No, not after like him being rushed to hospital afterwards and the dehydration involved in that and whatnot. It just is like morally, ethically, nah.
Yeah. Final message for Josh Taylor to get his heart rate moving a little bit?
Nah, I don't need to get his heart rate moving. I just wish he had a good camp. I've had a good camp. Camp's been camping, and I'm ready. I'm excited. It's going to be a good fight. We both respect each other, and it is what it is. He's in my way. He's got to get out of my way.
Listen, you deserve the opportunity, mate. Go and enjoy this week. You know, it's a big event. You're the big main event. And there's a lot of fight fans that are going to be tuning in and looking forward to it, especially on talkSPORT throughout the whole course of the week. Echo, thank you so much for giving up a bit of time a week out from the fight. Enjoy your fight week, mate.
Yeah, I will do. Thank you guys for having me as well.
Always a pleasure, the machine.
Yeah,
always a pleasure.
We'll have another interview after this. Not even hopefully. We will have another interview after this.
Good man.
And I can spill some beans.
Hey, good
Lovely.
man. That's what we like. That's what we like. Have a good one. See you in a bit, buddy. Echo Wasserman in the main event next week. Josh Taylor will be his opponent, of course. Glasgow, the destination. And we'll have that for you on talkSPORT. So make sure you come and join us for it. We had a fight on talkSPORT last week. Anto Kakachi won it. And we're going to speak to him in a minute. Don't go anywhere. This is Fight Night on talkSPORT. I'm Adam Catterall. A little earlier on, we caught up with Frank Warren. You're going to hear the full entity of that conversation a little later on. But this is what he had to say about Anthony Kakachi and maybe
he's fighting,
with the American superstar Shakur Stevenson. Hold your horses. Now you can hit it.
Well, he's fighting, isn't he, on July the 12th in New York, Flushing Meadows. So
Williams Zapata.
I would love him, if he comes through that fight, I'd love to make that fight.
At lightweight, presumably. You're taking Anthony up to lightweight at that point.
Yeah, I'd do that fight. I'd take him up for that. You know, he's very capable, as you know. I mean, he's been... It's amazing, isn't it? You can have a stack of talent. If you don't apply yourself, that you just don't get there. It's not just about talent. It's about commitment to the sport and hard work. And he suddenly found his mojo at the age of I think he was 34, 35, and it's really
36.
Really
yeah, he's 36 even. Frank.
He's 36. He's 36. Yeah, he's 36 now. I'm talking about.
Found his mojo.
He's fought 3 world champions. Both of them. Sorry, 3 of them are all double world champions, and it's brilliant what he's done. And he's been very, very, very dominant in all those fights. Very dominant, and he's amazing. And I love him dearly. I really enjoy working with him. He's a great guy. He gets it, and I want to give him a big homecoming in Belfast, and which I will do over the summer. And then hopefully we can get that Stevenson fight for him.
Yeah, you'll hear the rest of that conversation with Frank Warren a little bit later on in the show. But Anto Kakachi, Shakur Stevenson obviously will get the mouth-watering of a lot of Anto Kakachi fans. Even more so if they can make that happen in Belfast, as Frank was alluding to there for the summer, bringing Anto Kakachi, not necessarily the Stevenson fight, but maybe that a little bit later down the line. He's at that stage now, Anto, as we just alluded to his age there, at 36 years of age. That Indian summer, he's absolutely flying. He made a decision at the start of the year. It'd be great to have a conversation with him, hopefully in a moment or two, if he comes and joins the show, about the decision at the start of the year to give up the IBF championship and now pursue the fights that are going to make life-changing money. And I think he's earned that right. I think he's earned the opportunity to get those big life-changing moments. I personally don't think that they're with world champions, if I'm honest. I think they're with more domestic operators. That's where I think the interest will be from a British fight fan point of view. But I don't begrudge Anto Kakachi this Indian summer, given the fact that he's done it the proper way. He worked hard. There was moments of darkness where he was going to give up on his career, and now he's here on a lovely win streak after claiming world title honors last year.
Well, I think there's we've talked about, there's a resonance in British boxing events or Northern Irish boxing events, Scottish boxing events. The fans are there to come and watch. You can fill an arena. You can draw a big name from another country. There's no doubt. But I'm just looking at his record. Obviously, he lost to Martin Ward at Wembley Arena in 2017. It's his only defeat. But he's gone along and he's slowly made his way, and then 3 world champions in a row, and he's just dealt with them all. But the matchmaking's been very clever. Joe Cordina was very tight at the weight. Saw Cordina in the.
But he wasn't supposed to win that fight, man.
No, but he wasn't supposed to win
that
it.
That was a phone call to him to say, "Do you fancy this opportunity?" When the phone wasn't ringing, and he dared to be great. He rolled the dice and he went for it. Let's be dead honest about it. Going into that fight, Cordina was the favourite. I picked Cordina to win. And Kakachi went up there and did a job on him fantastically well.
I thought Cordina looked fat, but I do remember looking at Cordina on weigh-in day and thinking, oh, he looks skeletal. And we know that Kakachi has that. He's a southpaw. You know, he's got that strong look about him. He's got a 71-inch reach. He's got very good levers on the inside. I was talking with Spencer Oliver about this the other day. He boxes well in the mid-range, but he's very good up close as well. You know, he's sneaky as well. He's on.
He's good,
and he's really good. And Indian summer is the right way to put it. He's dispensed with the IBF title. He doesn't care about the fact that it's the IBO. I think the matches are there to be made right now. I know we've got Oshaki Foster and others, and
titles are irrelevant.
I think they are. Now. I think they are. I think it's about the money in the bank.
It's about the fights that excite the fans and that excite Anto Kakachi.
Yeah.
What did you say then? All right, I'm blooming shouting in my ears now.
Have we got Anto Kakachi?
Well, that's what I thought that he said in my headphones there, but I've been told that it'll be about a minute before he comes and joins us.
Oh, well,
that's the thing that excites me about where he is currently at. Because it isn't about belts anymore. This is about the fights that excite the fight fan. What gets people to part with their hard-earned cash, buy a ticket, and go and watch the guy fight? Is it Oshaki Foster? I don't know if it is. Is it Michael Conlan? I think it more so is. I think it's more so those types of names that will absolutely excite the fan,
the crowd. That as a Belfast fight is fantastic, but given what Frank Warren's hinting, maybe Kakachi at his age is looking to want to step up to lightweight, wanting to be at 130 pounds, not at 126 pounds anymore. He doesn't want to be 135 pounds even, go up to lightweight, be able to compete with a bit more weight on his body. Shaka Stevenson, that is a big fight. That is a big name. That's a guy who, in my view, if he carries on the way he is and has the right opponents, could be the best fighter in the world, the best boxer, rather, in the world in a couple of years' time. Regarded as, in the pound-for-pound list.
I just don't know if he's that star just yet for me.
No, he's not there yet, but if he has the right opponents, if we get the Gervonta Davis fight... I love Frank's ambition for Kakachi.
Yeah, why would you not make it?
What I'm not loving is Kakachi's lack of ambition for joining us on the show tonight.
We'll get him. We'll get him at some point. Listen, you are listening to talkSPORT. O'Hara Davies is going to be joining us very shortly. We've got plenty fallout as well from the Copper Box. Don't go anywhere. Fighting. You can't stop them. You know what I mean? When they decide to call time on those careers, there's a fire that just will not go out in the centre of their heart and it burns away. And every now and again, once they've made the decision to walk away, they decide, you know something? I fancy another little dance here. Let's get straight back into it. Well, one man that is doing that exact thing is a guy that became incredibly popular, definitely over the last 3 to 4 years. With the talkSPORT audience because of his straight talking, no nonsense. This is going to be fun. It is the one and only Mr. O'Hara Davies. How are you, buddy?
I'm good. Listen, it's good to be back and good to be back.
You're going to have to talk us through it, right? Because I thought that the way that you handled the Adam Azim fight, the way that you spoke afterwards and all those things, I thought to myself, do you know something? Fair play to you, man. Absolutely. Right off into the sunset and start the next chapter of life. And it had started. Everything was tickety-boo. You were helping society. Everything was going really, really well. And then the phone call rings.
Listen.
And you're back.
I've actually retired a bit before the Azim fight. I spoke to Lee. I said, Lee, win, lose or draw this fight, I'm done. The love's gone.
Lee Eaton, who's who you're referring to for the audience,
right? You know, he's my manager. And I said, you know what, I'm done after this fight. Win, lose or draw. And then, you know, I did retire. Life was good. I've been busy. I've got a few other projects that I've been working on. I've been going to a few prisons and I've been trying to help other people that are from where I'm from change their lives and their mindset. And then and
it's been going really well.
It's been going very well. It's been going great. And then I had an opportunity to fight in Ghana, and of course, you know, it's where my parents are from, so that's where I'm from. You know, I've got the Ghanaian blood in me. And I said, it's an opportunity I can't turn down. And I had to think about it for about 5-10 minutes. I said, you know what, let's go. And I got straight back in the gym. That same night, I was in Dubai. I put my running gear on. I went running that night. I came back here. I found the gym. I said, let's go. And I'm quite enjoying being back. I'm actually having a great time in the gym with my new team in this new camp. And, you know, I'm going to be going up a weight class or two.
Okay.
And just seeing what I've got left in me.
Okay. Well, that was going to be my question, because this is a promotion that is run by Amir Khan. Yeah. And he's putting on this event in Ghana. Tabiti is going to be in the main event and you're going to be on this as well. You just explained the heritage and the reasons why you're here. Obviously, it's tugged on your heartstrings. You got excited about it. Weight was going to be my next question. So what weight are you thinking of competing at?
So this next fight is going to be at welterweight, but...
Okay, so you're up. You're up at 147, right? Okay.
Don't be
Everyone's
surprised.
going to welterweight.
Don't be surprised if you see me at like middleweight.
Okay.
After this fight, I just want to see how I make the weight, because listen, I've been making super lightweight for the past 8 years.
Yeah.
I made it for the first time when I fought Dave Matthews in early 2017, and now it's 2024. I fought Azim at the same weight. I'm finding it hard to make the weight, and
of course,
as
Huge
you get
difference
older,
between 25 and 33, isn't
and
it?
and then like you get older. As you get older, like your body grows after each fight, and I find it so hard to make weight to the point where I start feeling weak. I'm fighting, I'm feeling weak. Not just in my last fight. In my last fight was the best I made the weight. I'm talking about the few fights before that, the Ishmael Barroso fight, the Lewis Ritson fight. People don't know. After the Lewis Ritson fight, after I made weight, I vomited in the changing room. I mean, I vomited back in the hotel room. My coach and everyone's there thinking, oh, what's going on? Everyone thought, listen, I was about to die. I was so weak, and I'd made it for my last fight. But listen, I kept at that weight because I've been ranked at that weight. I've been ranked with the WBA and in the governing bodies, and I know that if I go up in weight, that ranking is going to be taken away from me, and I'm going to have to rebuild all over again.
Of course.
And listen, I feel much happier fighting at welterweight. Listen, like, I'm not drained, I'm not angry 24/7. I can eat, and I've got the energy to train. I've got the energy, I've got the buzz, I've got the fire back. I'm ready to go.
Okay. Opponent wise,
they've got me Mohammed Aliseni.
That's right.
He's not a great opponent, but you know, it's just someone just to get me back in there.
So Tanzanian to bash up, isn't it?
That's it.
Can I ask you, because I'm always fascinated with the boxers of Ghana. I didn't know you were Ghanaian of Ghanaian heritage.
Yeah.
Because obviously Ike Corty, Azuma Nelson, all from Jamestown and all from a certain tribe. Are your parents Jamestown? Do you know where they're from or
They're
not?
from Kumasi.
Is that a boxing area as well? Or?
I'm not too sure, to be honest.
Will you go and visit?
I've been there before.
Okay.
I've been there before. I've been to Ghana before. A lot of people don't know. Listen, I'm going to tell you guys something. A lot of people don't know. In 2012, Joshua Buatsi, who's also from Ghana, and me went to Ghana to go and fight in the World Games. You know, they had the World Championships in Kazakhstan in 2012. Joshua Buatsi and me went out to Ghana. everything was set to send us to Kazakhstan to go and fight in the World Games. And listen, sometimes they got some corruption in certain places. So when the funding came to send us to Kazakhstan to pay our flights, our hotel rooms and stuff like this, the money went missing. So we came back to the UK. I turned pro, and then Joshua Buatsi went to fight.
Went for Rio to the Olympics, yeah. Won the bronze.
Buatsi in the Olympics, it should have been for Ghana. It should have originally been for Ghana. But then, some corruption happens, and now they got Legacy Sports involved in the boxing. And I've heard some good things about them. So, I'm quite confident that they're going to take away all the corruption that was there in the past. And also we got Amir Khan. And I feel like as a team, I feel like they can do big things for boxing in Ghana, because Ghana's got some special talent.
Yeah, there's no question about it.
The way that you're speaking, it feels like, this is your calling and it's your opportunity to go and fight in Ghana, but it feels like you're actually doing this for greater reasons, to try and open doors and try and paint a path for maybe some other Ghanaian fighters coming through behind you.
I would love to do that. I spoke to Don Charles about a couple of months ago, and he explained to me what passion he's got for the boxing in Ghana too. And I feel like everyone in Ghana, they love the boxing. It's just that the opportunities are not there. And it's where my parents are from, and I feel a great desire in my heart to help, to help the people of Ghana, the youths that have a dream to one day become an Anthony Joshua, or to become a Azuma Nelson, or to become like these other great people that are from the African heritage.
Of course.
And the passion's there. But what's been missing over the past few years is the opportunity, and if I can help to bring some opportunities back to Ghana, I'll be more than happy.
So if that had worked out and those funds hadn't gone missing, you and Joshua Buatsi might have both represented Ghana in the 2016 Rio Olympics.
We both would have fought for Ghana in the 2012 games in Kazakhstan,
maybe then have gone
also in the Olympics in 2016, because otherwise I wouldn't have turned pro. I would have said, you know what, I've got a great opportunity to get into the Olympic Games. Who actually was already there. So it only made sense. It's just that, listen, when they got some corruption and, the governing bodies, the people that are lord over it, are not by the book.
Have you chatted to Amir? Because when he was 17, they didn't want to pick him for the Olympics in Athens. Do you know this story?
No, I never know.
And Pakistan were offering the opportunity to fight for or box for Pakistan in the Athens Olympics in 2004, but in the end he won the Youth Olympics at 16 and a half, and Britain saw sense in picking him in the end, but he would have fought for Pakistan if they hadn't picked him. And he won the silver. He got to the final at 17.
Was the reason because of his age, though? It wasn't ability.
They thought he was too young to take him there, but as he showed, I know he lost to double Olympic champion Mario Kindelan, the Cuban, in the final, but thank God, again, it's like, don't mess up the opportunities, and I think you always gladden my heart. I think you are one of the special people to me, and I've encouraged you privately as well as publicly to put your story out there, because it's so extraordinary. Because you might not be a Ben or a Eubank in terms of your resonance in the mainstream, but eventually I think your name will be very big. And I love hearing this about Ghana tonight, where you've got another string to your bow now. Tell us about going into prisons and reaching people.
It was amazing. From what I've done on talkSPORT in the past, the last time I was here.
Yeah, we chatted about it. We made it, and the people contacted you, I remember.
I got a couple of emails, and I got some great opportunities from this show. This show is amazing. It goes out, and the audience is so big. And it's so influential, so I'd like to thank you guys for having me here last time and also this time. But
it was you telling your story that did it. That was it.
That's also true. The prison that we went into, it was everyone was in there for life.
Wow.
Everyone was in there for murder, and we spoke to certain prisoners, to different groups, and a lot of them, they really wanted to change their lives. And what I wanted to do was to find some way that I can bring the boxing into the prisons. Boxing, yes, it's a violent sport, but boxing can also be used as a tool to give you a positive mindset, because that was me all those years ago. I was a criminal. I was on bail, attempted murder for Class A drugs, and I've lived that life, and through boxing, I've managed to change my own life, and
become a beautiful person in the meantime as well.
And listen, so my passion was just really to go there and to see if I can bring something in, but But it didn't happen. It didn't happen. I went there. I spoke to them. I spoke to the prison warden. The prison governor. Most times it's just talk. They say, yeah, we can look at making this happen. A lot of the times it's just talk. They don't.
But are you going to go governmental level? There's people we can put you in touch with, MPs and certain people working. And if there's people listening again tonight who work in government, this is an extraordinary character, O'Hara. Two Tanks Davis, who, as I said, he's being open about his own life. And you have things to pass on, don't you?
Absolutely.
And if we have got people listening, let's make the funding possible. Let's open the doors. Let's open the prison doors for you to be able to go in there and train people and change their lives on the inside.
Absolutely. And the funding is, the funding, that is the essential part. But I'm not bothered about the money. I don't need to get paid for it.
But you want people to tick the box to be able to go in there with the equipment and so on.
Absolutely. I'm just quite passionate about helping other people change their life, because if I can change that one life, that could be another life saved.
Without being too historical about all this, I was always impressed with Bernard Hopkins. Whenever I remember the first time I spoke to him, for 5 years he was the penitentiaries champion in America, because obviously he was stealing from the robbers at the time. He wasn't a bad man, but he was stealing from the bad men.
He was Robin Hood.
He was Robin in the Hood. Oh, very good. But when he went into prison, 5 years he was in there, and he boxed and boxed and boxed, and that's where he got that longevity. That's where he learnt to fight. That's where he became a great champion.
Wow.
You know that story about him? And it's inside. I'm going to try. I said it last time. I'm going to try and help you again to get those doors open.
It's like what you were saying there, O'Hara. Not everybody's going to go on to become a pro boxer or become and achieve things within the sport. But what this sport does is that it focuses the mind. It gets you on the right path. It teaches you discipline. It gives you self-worth, which I think is a really key thing for people that are obviously in various institutions because of criminality. It gives them that self-worth. And if you can get them on the right path, it doesn't have to be fight sports that they come and join, but it gets them focused on a target in the future, which is a key thing.
You talked about your path being changed by someone taking the funds. People's lives get in a difficult place because of a decision by someone else sometimes.
Well, it's discipline a lot of the time.
Absolutely,
or their age, or who are their role models, and all of those kind of things.
Of course. Listen, we're going to pick this up. O'Hara's going to stick with us for at least another 15 minutes. We'll probably use him for the all of the show if we can kidnap him and keep him here.
I'm here.
We're going to get a little update on the golf before we continue our boxing chats. The PGA Championship is going on right now. Sean Nelson's across it. Sean, what's going on, mate?
Yes, the big boys have arrived at the PGA Championship. World number one, Scotty Scheffler, he leads the way alongside Alex Noren and Jonathan Vegas. And Bryson DeChambeau and John Rahm are among those in hot pursuit. So from a golf fan's point of view, you can't ask for much more than that. There's no Rory McIlroy, though. He's gone backwards instead of forwards today. He's 10 shots adrift, and with the quality at the top of this leaderboard, that is very much game over for him. So Scheffler has a piece of the lead, and DeChambeau and Rahm are in amongst it.
PGA Championship update on talkSPORT with Arnold Clark. Get the UK's best used car deals, guaranteed.
You're listening to Fight Night on talkSPORT. I'm Adam Catterall. Gareth Davies is alongside me. O'Hara Davies has very kindly given up a bit of time to come and join us in the studio. He's back in action. That's right. The phone call, it was always going to come, and it was too good of an opportunity to turn down. He's been talking about the heritage of Ghana from a family point of view, and the opportunity in June, it is, isn't it, that you're out there doing your thing on an Amir Khan promotion against Mohammed Alisani. Exciting times ahead, but listen, I'm still fascinated with the conversation that we were just having there about what you can offer society and what you're trying to offer society and going into prisons. And
We've got Dalton Smith. I've been watching him, and listen, like the 140 weight class now is amazing. It's a lot better fighters in there now than there was this time 5 years ago. We got Pierce O'Leary. Pierce O'Leary is another good fighter that isn't known. but soon this guy will be known. He's a great fighter, and we got so many other big names that are just up and coming, and they're all going to be bursting through. And I believe that the UK is going to have, more world champions than the States have. Right now,
Lopez, Tio Lopez, the number one in the division, in your view?
Teofimo Lopez.
He is in mine.
Teofimo Lopez right now, I believe.
10 stone, I think he's the number one.
I believe he is number one. If you asked me before, I would have said maybe Ryan Garcia, but after what happened in his last fight, I think Teofimo Lopez he holds the number one spot at 140 right now.
But like you've just said, there's a couple of British and Irish fighters that are on that rise, and it seems like the promoters are trying to make the narrative of Adam, go down this route and see if you can get a world title, and Dalton, go down this route and see if you can get something.
Sorry to cut you off here. The thing is, like my mind's a bit, because we got all these fighters are all from the UK. Azim's from the UK, Dalton Smith's from the UK, Pistol Levy's from the UK. They're all great fighters. I don't want to see them fighting each other. I don't want to see it. I want to see a British world champion. So I want to see all of you guys go out to the States, and fight against them. And then once one person gets the world title, then you can fight each other. We don't need to see Azim against
Dalton
Smith now. We don't need to see that. I don't want to see that fight anytime soon. You go with your own routes, and then you go get a world title, then you make the big fight happen. But I want to see a British 140 world champion.
Could have been Jack Catterall if he'd beaten Arnold Barboza.
Which was
probably should have been.
Well, he'll kick himself,
But they're all moving to welterweight. We discussed it earlier how Catterall's moving to 147. Josh Taylor's moving to one. You're moving to 147.
But listen,
or 154.
Another dangerous fighter that we haven't named, Harlem Eubank.
No, I'm just about to say it.
Exactly. Very interesting. Yeah.
What do you make of his move? Because he was doing really well at 140.
Nah, listen. To be honest, at 140, I never rated Harlem Eubank as a world beater. I used to watch him at 140. I said, he's a good fighter, but there's nothing special about him. And I do know Harlem, so I hope that what I'm saying now, I hope it doesn't offend him. But when I saw his first fight at 147 against that Tyrone McKenna, I said, whoa, this guy's a problem.
It was a brilliant performance.
Have you seen the fight?
Yes, brilliant performance. The Brighton one,
I said, listen, this guy is a problem. At 147, Harlem Eubank is a problem. He's not really spoken about because he's not Chris Eubank Jr.
Does he beat Jack Catterall?
I believe so, and I believe he beats him in good fashion.
Okay.
Even though I give Catterall the advantage because he's got much more experience, but
he's a tricky southpaw. He's got a big shell. He boxes with a big shell, doesn't he?
But what Harlem's got right now, because he's not up there and he should be up there, he's got that fire to get there, to get where Chris Jr.'s got. He's got the fire in him, and he's got the youth, and it's going to be his first time on the big stage. He's got a certain fire that I haven't got, that Josh Taylor hasn't got, that Catterall hasn't got, because we've all been there in a sense. We've all been quite highly rated, and we've all had our names up amongst the best, but Harlem hasn't.
He's also got Eubank Senior for his parliamentary procedure as well, hasn't he?
He has. That's also good.
It helps. Oh man, that guy is going to help if he's with you. Look what Chris Jr. said 2 weeks ago. If my dad hadn't been there, I would not have had that for the last 2 rounds. Now, whether that's acting or not, I don't know, but
I think there's something in that.
I think there's something in it.
Listen, just Chris Eubank Senior being there, like you see when they put the, when they put the screen and then we see that he was there. Listen, it's an echo. Like literally, the whole boxing arena went crazy. Chris Eubank Senior, his presence alone, the guy don't need to talk. His presence alone has got something that words can't explain.
I've got light bulbs going off in my head here about you and what you're doing as well. I could imagine he's a marshal, isn't he? Remember?
Yeah,
he's a marshal.
He's got the sheriff's badge. Yeah.
I get the sheriff's badge. Don't call him a sheriff. He's a marshal.
Okay, sorry.
Do your job. As he keeps saying to me, don't let him weight train again. I think he would be a great person to work with you as well. I could see you two working together, changing people's lives.
I would love that.
If you're listening, Chris, here's another arm here. Is 2 strong-armed men.
2 tanks.
You really respect him, don't you?
Listen, I love Chris.
Yeah.
He's been my idol since I was young. He's one of the greatest fighters that we've had in this country, and, you can do nothing but respect him.
Yeah, I agree. He's an extraordinary human being.
Is the fight for you in Ghana? Is it one more and done, or is there a process now? Are you back in?
So when I spoke to Lee, I put it through to Lee. I put it forward. I said, Lee, this is good opportunity in Ghana. Lee said, listen, let's go have this fight. If you want to call it your last fight and then say I'm done, that's up to you. If you want to have this fight and then you want to go on, it's up to you. But my aim right now is just to get you out there, see how you feel. And I said, okay, cool, that sounds good. I'm not being pressured to fight on. But I know in my heart right now, after that fight's done, the next day I'm going to be on the phone to Lee. Lee, what and who is next and when? So listen, I'm back. I'm back as long as I feel good at welterweight.
Are you back working with the same people? What's the situation with training? Where are you?
Right now, I'm at Origin Gym. My coach, his name's Martin. I'm not sure if you know him. Martin's not really been around the boxing scene. He's worked with a couple of big names, Anthony Yard, Adam Azim.
Okay, but
he's kind of been a bit under the radar. So he's who I'm working with for this camp. We're based at the Origin Gym, the same gym as Mark Tibbs.
Okay.
So, we've got Mark Tibbs there. He
only has one name, does he? Does he not have a full name?
Martin, I don't even know the surname.
Okay, well, fair enough.
Martin just goes by his first name.
That's that's fine then.
It's just Martin.
Okay, that's fine.
So I've been enjoying it very much in this gym. I've been sparring a lot of the fighters that are with Mark Tibbs. They got Finley there, they got Giorgio Visioli, and they got Joe Bartel. So we're all in the same gym. We all mix in. We all spar each other. My coach does pads with their fighters sometimes, and then we mix it in. So it's a
Johnny Fisher in that gym as well. Then yep. So do you see that tonight or not? Have you seen he's got knocked out tonight?
I saw Johnny Fisher's fight today. Listen, it's very sad to see, but at the same time as I'm sad for him, I'm also very happy for him, because if you look at Johnny Fisher's life, he's not a boxer. He's a uni student that started boxing, and he just wanted to see how far, if it goes well. And he got to the big stage. He got rich and famous doing it, and he found a passion. He left the uni stuff behind, and he went for his goal. I don't feel sorry for him. I feel happy for him, because he's achieved a lot. Even though it didn't go his way in life, sometimes you win some, sometimes we lose some. But he got so rich in the process of losing, and so famous, and so well respected. And he's not a boxer, but he's in a sense become a great boxer. He ain't been doing it from young. Listen, Johnny Fisher is a special talent, and it's gonna take a bit of mental work to get back. But I believe he's got a good team around him. He's got people that love him, and he's a smart man himself. I believe he's gonna take some time out, get his mind right, and he'll be back.
Should he have taken the rematch straight
Absolutely
away?
Not.
Yeah.
Absolutely not. Like
Conventional wisdom
if you
would have
ask
told
my
you that,
opinion on that,
yeah.
Listen, in boxing, styles make fights, and the style that Dave Allen's got is always going to be wrong for the type of style that Fisher's got. It was always going to be wrong, whether he fought him again now or in 2, 3, 4 years. The kind of style that Dave Allen has, the man don't mind getting hit. And Fisher's not a big puncher, so it's very hard to fight fighters like that, because the style just doesn't mix. If it was me, I would have had the first fight. Okay, cool, we got away with it. We keep away from him, even though the people are going to talk about it for a while.
That he'd lost by a point or whatever.
After a couple of months, a couple of years, they'll forget about it and they'll stop talking about it. And then if you want, you can get some more experience and then fight him. It's all about timing in this game. In this game, it's all about timing, and this wasn't the right time for him. This wasn't the right time. And you know what? That's just my opinion.
No, I think you're spot on.
They've learned it, and they've learned it in a hard way. It's a hard lesson to learn. But at the same time, he's a man that has a goal. He found a passion. He went after his goal, and it didn't go his way. But he's still so successful in what he does.
O'Hara, it's been a pleasure having you in the studio. We've got Frank Warren on in a minute. We're going to be speaking to him very shortly. But hopefully, this isn't our last conversation. We can have many more, get you back in the studio, and the next time we speak, hopefully we've moved this thing along where we've got you in contact with various people that can
absolutely
help you with the prison thing. Mate.
Absolutely. I love being here. Thanks for having me on air.
No, you're welcome.
13th of June, you're fighting Mohamed Aliseni. You're going to beat up a Tanzanian. Is that on DAZN? So we know it's on DAZN. Is that okay?
Zone,
okay,
so
live
you
on
can all
DAZN.
tune in.
Amir Khan making a comeback on that card, or is he just flashing his promoter's jacket around?
now demanding a shirt and tie and a suit and tie.
He's in good shape, actually.
He is, yeah.
He put on a bit of weight at one time, but he's back to being lean again.
Yeah.
Pleased to see that with Amir.
There you go. Looking forward to seeing you back doing your thing.
Thank you.
With a
Great
big
stuff.
smiling face, mate. Top
Great
stuff.
to see you.
Stick with us. Frank Warren's on the show next. Don't go anywhere. Just before the show, we caught up with head of Queensbury Promotions, Frank Warren, and we started by discussing his current crop of top heavyweights.
You are the promoter with the biggest and longest list of big heavyweight names at the moment. We've got 3 heavyweight questions for you tonight, really. There are teasing moments. I've been digging around behind the scenes as well with Tyson Fury. There are more and more hints. He's in the gym. His father's talking about him. The pictures with Sugar Hill Stewart, the debate around who should be his coach. People like Jimmy Richardson putting pictures out with him in the gym. Are we starting to get a sense with Tyson that he's feeling something in the body, that he wants to come back?
I don't know. I mean, he can answer that. I mean, you got to remember, he's in the gym all the time anyway. You know, since he's come back, you know, from the problems that he had when he vacated the title. Since then, he's lived in the gym, and it's very important for him, not just for the fighting aspect, but it's important for him for his mental health. It helped him and got him through a lot of problems, and so he's there. And you look at him; he's in tremendous condition.
Correct.
For me, you know, as I've always said, if he wants to fight, I'll support him, but that's got to be his choice. And as we are at the moment, you know, nothing's been made official about what he's doing, so we'll wait.
Do you wait for a call from him or a text from him? Is that the process at the moment? You want to give him his space, or I text him in the week. We had a little couple of messages going backwards and forwards. We had a conversation last week when he was on his way back from seeing Tommy fight in Hungary. From Hungary, yeah.
Yeah, so, you know, I've spoken with him, and you know, he whatever he's going to do, he'll do. And as I say, he should be. There's no pressure on him. Certainly going to be from me, because the, you know, 2-time world champion, an unbelievable resume. Probably, you know, him and Usyk, the 2 best heavyweights of the 21st century at the moment, and. You know, if he doesn't need to come back, but if he wants to, then certainly I'd be there to help him in all ways as I've always done.
You just said that at the moment, obviously alluding to that super fight that we've got between Daniel Dubois and Alexander Usyk, which a lot of fight fans are obviously excited about, having undisputed on British soil. Off the back of that, just a question regarding a couple of other heavyweights. As Gareth just said there, you basically are looking after every single heavyweight at the moment. What's the latest with Josie Parker? What's the latest with Ajit Kabayel? What direction are you taking them in whilst they obviously wait for their shot at the top spot?
Well, I spoke with Joseph and his team in the week. George and my son were on the phone with him and the team, and he will fight probably in September. So, we'll see what the outcome, obviously, of the 19th of July, the Wembley fight between the 2 guys. Once we see how, you know, Daniel and Usyk fight pans out, then the WBO have ordered sorry about that. Someone's sending me a message. They have the WBO have. Oh, it's from Tyson. Oh, he's going on. Oh, I'll tell you tomorrow. He said it depends on the outcome of that fight, because WBO said that the next fight of the winner of that fight will have to be for the WBO mandatory.
Yeah,
and he is the interim champion, so he's in a good position, because he'll fight for the 4 belts unless the winner vacates, and he'll fight and he'll be elevated then to champion. So he's in a really good champion.
Final couple of things, Frank, before you go back to answering Tyson and him revealing that he's coming back tomorrow. The mention in the week of Moses Towner and Martin Bakole. Obviously, Moses is fighting next weekend. And also, I think you were a bit unhappy with some of Tony Bellew's comments about Daniel Dubois' heart, him questioning Daniel's heart in the week.
Well, I mean, Well, what he say he reverts to type, so some whatever it was. What I'm upset about, I was upset the last fight when he said, when we made the match between him and AJ, where he said he'll wind up on a stretcher in an ambulance, which I thought was, from an ex-fighter, it was not really. You can say they get beat. Everyone's got an opinion who's going to win, but to make a comment like that, I thought was pretty disgusting. And he's just got a downer on him. That's up to him. If you don't like him, you don't like him. And I was asked a question, and all I do is respond to what I'm asked. I never brought it up. I was asked, and I just said he's a bit of a jerk, and he doesn't like him, and that's the end of it. He's got his opinion, and let him get on with it. All I know is Daniel Dubois has done everything that's been asked of him. He's now the champion. He's beaten the guy that, according to him, was going to put him in hospital, and I do believe he'll be the winner in a very good fight on the 19th.
I noticed that you won the purse bids for Adelaide and Jamie TKV. Yeah. Have you got a target date for that rematch?
We're going to sort that out on Monday or Tuesday, Adam.
Okay, great stuff. And finally, obviously, everybody's talking about Anthony Yard and the possibility of Callum Smith. Is that something that you're targeting maybe for this 5v5 that everybody is excited about?
I'd love to do that. And funny thing is, tonight I've just been sending some texts to him. He's on holiday in Brazil at the moment, so we'll get that sorted out when he gets back with him and Tundi, and sit down and work out what we're going to do. But yeah, I love that fight. I think he likes it as well, and we'd love to get it on. There's some great fights to be made, and we are getting them made.
You are a very, very busy man, because I'm just thinking about all the different fights. It's incredibly busy at the moment. I've never known you busier, frankly.
Well, that's why he's getting Lifetime Achievement Awards.
Well, you're saying that. I can remember. I remember 1 year doing. It was 38 shows on ITV.
Wow.
So we're busy, but this is great. This is brilliant. We are busy and loving every moment of it, and enjoying the fights. There've just been some fabulous fights on, some very competitive fights, and we've been blessed in putting them together. A lot of them together.
Now, if I'd have known that you were back in the game and looking for fights, O'Hara, who's still with us, by the way, in the studio,
refusing to leave, but we don't mind.
Yeah, but we'd have put your name towards Frank Warren. He's making a ton of fights right now. We could get you in that mix, mate, once you've done Ghana.
That sounds good. Listen, I was watching a fight the other day, yeah? Mm-hmm. Chris Congo against Owen Cooper.
Yes.
Owen Cooper fought a great fight against Chris Congo.
He came through well.
He got the win. He fought a good fight when he fought Eko Usman.
Mm-hmm.
And listen, if I stay in a game and I stay at this weight, I stay at 10-7, I stay at welterweight, this would be a fight that, I wouldn't say no to.
Are you calling people out? Mate, we haven't done the Ghana thing yet.
Listen,
you're calling people out. You're getting ready.
I'm not calling people out, but I would like to congratulate Owen Cooper on this fight, because, listen, I'm very impressed. From what I saw that day, what I saw, he fought he fought a very good fight, and it's a fight that I'll be very interested in after I get through Ghana.
Can I ask you, because we've had Echo Essam on tonight, we talked to Frank about it. I'm not sure if it was in the. We certainly talked with him about it. We're going to talk about it later. Echo Essam and Josh Taylor. Obviously, you fought Josh, and you fought him in his prime, or just coming into his prime. How do you see that fight next weekend? We've got it live on talkSPORT. How do you see it?
I don't know. It depends on what Taylor we see. It depends on what Taylor's got left. Because we all know that the Taylor now and the Taylor that I fought in 2017 are two different people. Two different people. And we don't know what Taylor's left. And if he fights how he fought in his last fight, then I have to give it to Echo, because Echo is a strong fighter.
Interesting.
And Echo's a welterweight. Echo's a strong fighter, and he's bigger than Josh Taylor. He's bigger and also stronger. So it all depends on what Taylor's got left. But it's going to be a good fight. In my opinion, it's a 50-50 fight.
Because after you fought him, he went on a run and he went to number 5 in the world's pound for pound with the Ring magazine. He had an extraordinary 5-fight run in the World Boxing Super Series. Then he unified the titles, or became undisputed.
He became one of the best fighters on the planet.
Yeah. Do you remember that guy?
I remember everything. I fought against him.
I know what I mean is, do you remember the detail of that?
Yes, every detail. Listen, Taylor back then, he was feared. He was a feared fighter. and he was the best fighter in the country, in my opinion. At that time,
pound for pound,
he was the best. You know,
Interesting.
He was the best in the country. But since then, he's got a new coach. Things change. The lifestyle changes, and after you become undisputed, you've won it all. Is the motivation still there, like it once was?
You've reached your Everest, maybe.
He became undisputed, which means he won every belt in that weight class. What else is there to achieve? What motivates you now? What motivates you? And lifestyle changes, you got money. There are so many different factors. Age, there were so many different factors as to why he's not the same fighter he was.
So bottom line, O'Hara, is that you wouldn't be, you're not picking against him next week, and it's live on talkSPORT, but you wouldn't be surprised if Echo does it.
I wouldn't be surprised if Echo does it. And listen, if you ask me to pick one, I'd probably lean towards Echo a little bit more.
Well, he's got the welterweight data, hasn't he? We'll find out next week where Josh Taylor's at. Right, we are saying goodbye to you now. All right, mate. We'll let you get on with the rest of your evening.
My friend,
it's been good
as
to be
always.
Here.
Superb.
Can I come on that prison visit next time?
Absolutely,
by the way?
I would love to
come.
Can you do me a favour? Can you find him a cell and throw him in it and keep him in there?
I would love to write a piece about it as well as maybe get our cameras if we're allowed to document.
I'm just going to wrap this up. You can have this conversation in the break.
All right.
Brilliant stuff. We're going to get a little bit of an update on the golf. We'll be back with some heavyweight chat in a minute. Show them what's going on at the PGA, mate.
Scotty Scheffler has the chance to separate himself here. He's really shown his class in some difficult conditions, and the world number one now leads on his own at 9 under. Within 2 shots of Scheffler, you've got Alex Noren, Jonathan Vegas, Davis Riley, Matthew Pabon and Siwoo Kim. In the clubhouse, John Rahm is very nicely placed on 6 under. Bryson DeChambeau led not long ago, but he ended up finishing on 5 under. That's just 4 shots back, so he's very much in this. But it's all about Scheffler at the moment. He's got a couple of difficult holes left to play as the curtain falls on day 3, and it's very much his to lose. Scheffler leads the PGA Championship on 9 under par.
PGA Championship update on talkSPORT with Arnold Clark. Get the UK's best used car deals, guaranteed.
This is Fight Night on talkSPORT. I'm Adam Catterall. Gareth Davies is alongside me. The guests have been coming in thick and fast tonight. Lots of great conversation. Thank you so much for your comments online about the programme. O'Hara Davies was absolutely superb before him. We were speaking to Echo Osman, who's in action next weekend against Josh Taylor. Before all that, though, we did have a little bit of a debrief and a minor conflab on everything that's just happened at the Copper Box this evening. In East London, where Dave Allen got the job done in 5 rounds, taking out Johnny Fisher in quite brutal fashion. The fight actually was very similar to the tale of the first fight, where Johnny Fisher starts well, he gets behind the jab, he looks nice and light-footed, he's in and out, landing his jab, but there was evidence in that first 4 rounds, which I think Johnny Fisher does take all of those first 4 rounds on the judges' scorecards. There's evidence there that Dave Allen is the person that is pressing the pace of the fight with his feet, not necessarily with his hands, but with his feet, with his footwork, making Johnny work when he doesn't necessarily want to work. And then in the 5th round, or should I say at the end of the 4th round, Dave starts to up the pace a touch. And then in the 5th round, he went through the gears and he delivered quite brutal finish, to be fair, and getting the job done and leaving no debate this time around that he is the victor.
He also, I'm just watching the highlights back of the absolutely brutal knockout. He's already knocked Johnny Fisher down once. He hits him with a left hook, 2 body shots, left and right. Towel flies across the ring, just as that left hook drops him with finality. What I liked about Dave Allen there, Adam, is he saw Johnny land badly and he put his hands up, said, I'm not going to celebrate here.
He was classy.
He very, very...
He understood the magnitude of what just happened.
He is very classy anyway. I mean, he looked classy in here with White and Jordan in the week as well, and I thought he's very self-effacing. He's very lovable, Dave. He's very unusual. He's very quirky. The biggest problem now is, can Johnny Fisher ever come back from this?
I'm going to answer that question, or I'll give my opinion on that question in a moment. But first, let's get some feedback, shall we, from the Copper Box, because we're very blessed to be joined by Jamie Moore, who is the man who looks after Dave Allen's corner. Look at that. We've even got him on the FaceTime as well. This is fantastic. He's obviously on his way back up to sunny Manchester, mate, getting out of the smoke, get up to the north in time for a little bit of action on Sunday.
Not quite yet. We're just waiting outside the venue to get on the way back to the hotel.
How are you, mate? You good?
I'm off. I am all good, thanks, mate. You?
Very well indeed. Listen, from a game plan point of view, it felt like, just watching it from the outside, I might have got this completely wrong, that it was a case of doing very similar things that you did in the first fight, pressing the pace, not necessarily with the hands, but with the feet, making Johnny work it, make him feel uncomfortable for a good 4 rounds, and then when the opportunity comes, put your foot down and away you go. And Dave did that.
Yeah. Do you know, can we just get a bit of light in the back here, guys? There we go. Right, so yeah, you're right. My instructions to Dave really were, let's have a look at Johnny, see if he does anything different. If he doesn't do anything different, we don't do anything different, because it worked last time. The difference from Dave's point of view this time was he was way better conditioned than he was the first time. He's been renowned for not taking the sport seriously in the past, and he's got so much success in the past for not really applying himself. And I've always said to him, if you did this properly, you could really do something. And in all honesty, 11 weeks ago we started camp, and he said, I'm dreading this, because he knew what was coming.
Yeah.
But he applied himself absolutely perfectly, followed the game plan through to a T, and it's worked a treat for him.
I did ask you on Wednesday at the press conference, Jamie. I had just had a quiet word with you after you'd done a few social media interviews and after the press conference. Was Dave in the best shape of his life? And you said genuinely, and I saw his little belly at the weigh-in.
And the boxer shorts.
By the way, he definitely sticks out on purpose.
Oh, does he? Okay, well that's fair enough. No, but you said to me in a hand on heart way, honestly, that's the best camp he's ever had. It's gone absolutely brilliantly.
And it was, and I think there's loads of different little aspects to it, I believe, and sometimes things just have to fall in place at the right time. And Dave's got a young family now. He's settled down. He's got a missus, and the cause, the greater good, is always. When you're not doing it just for yourself, you're doing it for somebody else. It's always easier to apply yourself. Go that extra mile. And I'm sure he's hated me at times during the last 11 weeks, but he won't hate me now because I'll come to fruition. These words out well for him.
Can I ask you on the other side, as we watch a brutal left hook finish over and over again, what if you were giving Johnny Fisher advice? Where does he go from here?
Do you know what, lads? I've just literally been in his change rooms now just to see him, and I said, guys, commiserations. He's been a pleasure working with you all week, because his team, all the guys around him, they're such a pleasure to be around. They're beautiful people, and I've been in that situation myself as a fighter. I've been there as a coach when it's awful in those change rooms. So I just wanted to go there, and I said to him, Johnny, listen, Dave's so much more experienced than you. Please try not to be so downhearted about this, because in time, if you take the lessons on board and just keep going and gain that experience yourself, it'll make you such a better fighter. He's a really good fighter, and he can punch like there's no tomorrow. But the only difference was experience. That was it.
Yeah, and we've just been speaking in the immediate aftermath, mate. Dave now, with the performances that he's put in against Johnny, both out in Riyadh and tonight, has given himself a platform to do something quite sensational next time out. It's a case listen, I'm shouting for a shot at the British title, and people might think that might be a step too far for him, but when you put a performance like that, you earn the right. Whether people believe you can win it or not is irrelevant for me. You earn the right to at least challenge for